Welcome everybody to the first Thursday Key Concepts of Asset Protection webinar. So it's summertime. I hope everybody's ready for summer. I certainly am. We have a lot of people signed up for this webinar. So I'll jump right into it. And today we're going to talk about the key concepts of asset protection. So what are the key concepts of asset protection? Key concepts of asset protection are actually a series of videos that you can use on your website to market asset protection. So as always, this webinar is put on by the Asset Protection Council, which is a nationwide network of attorneys, financial planners, CPAs committed to providing great asset protection to their clients and exclusive access to the Bridge Trust. My name is Douglas Lodmell. I'm the founder, managing partner, co-founder, managing partner of Lodmell, and the creator of the Asset Protection Council. And we work with attorneys all throughout the country. So these webinars are designed to support in all areas, from the technical side of things. We review cases, all the way to the building of your business side of things. So today's webinar is about building your business. And the key concepts of asset protection is what a webinar sequence or a video sequence that we have created. And we have branded as Asset Protection Council, so it is neutrally branded. I shouldn't say neutral, it's well branded as Asset Protection Council, but there's no law firm on there other than you, because you're going to be hosting this on your website. So the entire idea of this series is for you to be able to offer an extremely high quality piece of content to people who are visiting your website interested in asset protection. So why would we do this? Well, there's a couple of reasons. The main reason that we would do it is because we want to legitimize you as an authority on asset protection. So the more authoritative information that they can get at your website, the more important it is, or the more they see you as the authority on asset protection, the more they want to talk to you about asset protection. And so that's the first reason. In addition to establishing you as the authority, we also want to have you deliver very, very high quality content that helps them understand what asset protection is and how to make a good decision around asset protection. What we've learned over the past 20 years, and we've really been heavily involved with the internet and understanding how this works for a large part of that time, is that the more information that you can give somebody visiting your website, the more that you can provide them with the power to make a good decision, the more likely they are to come to you to make that decision. So let's talk about the key concepts themselves and how we use them. Okay, so where are they? Well, they're at the Asset Protection Council website. So you can navigate there. You'd go to assetprotectioncouncil.com. You'd go to resources, and then you'd go to key concepts, and you can see that on the screen. And so what they are, well, I'm just going to show you. I'm just going to go there. So now you're seeing my screen. I'm actually in a browser. So I'm going to go to resources. I'm going to go to key concepts. So here they are. And there's all 15 of them are here. This is the resource for you. You're not going to direct your clients to come here. You're going to direct your clients to go to your website where you're going to host these, and we're going to show you exactly how to do that. But while we're here, I want to play one of them for you because I just think they're only about 2 or 3 minutes long each. They're all in the same style. They're all extremely well done, and they just create a cohesive story about what the concepts are that really allow for asset protection. So, so I'm going to let this scroll around back to number 1, separate ownership from control, and number 2. I'm going to go ahead and play that. So let's just take a minute and watch it. Key concept number 2, use a trust. Famous Supreme Court Justice Oliver Wendell Holmes once said, "Put not your trust in money, but put your money in trust." A trust is a very special form of ownership, which has been used as far back as our English common law roots. A trust is formed when one person, called a settlor,
places an asset with another person, called a trustee, who agrees to take care of that asset for yet another person, called a beneficiary. The trustee is required to follow the directions inside the trust about how and when the beneficiary has use, control, or even direct ownership of the trust assets. For generations, wealthy families have used trust to protect beneficiaries from squandering the assets, divorce, poor investing, bad decision making, and yes, even lawsuits. How can a trust do all this? Find out with key concept number 3, irrevocability.
Okay, you got it. So the whole idea is that these are quick, they're easy to watch, they move fast, and they leave you, everyone will leave you with, the next concept. So I want to know how I can use a trust to do that. That sounds great. Irrevocability. So the next one is irrevocability. The next one after that is spend-thrift provisions. So once you understand what an irrevocable trust is, well, how does that actually protect against creditors? Spend-thrift provisions. Well, how can I have this benefit me? And then we talk about the concept of self-settled. And we go through 15 different concepts. Jurisdiction, we talk about offshore, we talk about the cost and the benefits of utilizing offshore, we talk about the domestic advantages, we talk about the domestic fatal flaw, we talk about the bridge trust in key concept number 11. So by the time that a viewer watches this, if they get through it, especially if they watch it in order, which is really ideal, they will have a very good idea that the bridge trust is the key tool that has really all the benefits of the offshore and all the benefits of the domestic, all the simplicity of the domestic, I should really say. Number 12 talks about using a COP entity, charging order protection entity. I call them COP entities because it sounds like it's protective, it's COP. Number 13 is fraudulent conveyance. So now that we understand how to do it, now we have to understand when you can do it. Number 14 is the target zone. This talks about what level of assets should you consider asset protection. And I consider the target zone between $1 and $5 million in assets. Most of my clients are in that target zone. I do have clients with 10, 50, 100, and actually even several $100 million worth of assets. But the clients that need it the most are the ones that have less than $5 million assets, or nowadays maybe less than 10. They're the most concerned. And then number 15 is really a call to action. The purpose of education is action. You want them to take an action. All of this is something you're going to deliver to them. It's not available on YouTube. They can't go find it somewhere else. It's only available through Asset Protection Council. So let's go back to the PowerPoint, and I'm going to talk about how we do this on your website. So step one, we feature the video series on your website. How we do that is you embed the video, usually in a separate private page on your website. So I know probably most of you listening don't do this yourself. I don't either, but somebody who manages your website will understand this, and we also have a very clear set of instructions that they can follow. And we have our own team here that can help guide you through this process. Once you've chosen your domain that you're going to feature it on, which would be your website and then maybe /key concepts or something else, you need to tell us your domain. Because we have to authorize you to play this series. These will not play on any domain that's not authorized. Again, it's not like a YouTube video where somebody can embed it and put it up on their blog. These are very protected and private. The only place you're going to see these are on member websites that have gone through this process with us and are using them correctly. And then you cut and paste the code that we'll give you onto the web page that your webmaster has created. And now you have the page. Now you can direct people to your site on the page, and they can watch it. They can screen all 15. It only takes about 30 minutes to watch all 15, and really it's engaging. I hope everybody after the one wants to immediately go to the AP site and watch them all. and you're welcome to. That site is authorized to play them, and you can play them there. So now, how do you make this work for you? This is the real key. You know, it's great to have great information on your site, but wouldn't it be nice to know who's watching that information? Well, this is where we create a call to action. So the marketing doesn't really do you any good unless you can call the person or send them an email saying, hey, you know, following up from the Key Concept series. So you've got to get their name and their email address and preferably their phone number. You want to get them to access this series by giving you that information. So the Key Concepts are not free. They're free. They don't cost money, but they're not free. That you have to give a piece of information. So the piece of information is the name, the email address, and if you'd like, the phone number. I think the phone number is worth getting. So it's something like this. It's just a call to action on your website. So on your homepage, you'll say, you know, get access to our series of 15 key concepts of asset protection. You can tease them about it. You can tell them how great it is. And then you say, you know, get access now. And they put in their name. I know we're all used to doing this for our own web surfing. We all want to see a white paper or a special report or something, and we give our name and our email. A lot of people have a separate email set up just for these kind of things. That's fine. You just want to know who's in there. This form, in my opinion, is required. If they're not willing to give you a name and an email to get access to this level of content, then they're probably not someone that you really need to worry about following up with or that is serious about asset protection. I can tell you people who are serious about asset protection are going to give you their name and their email address. So here's just a sample that Brian and our office came up with about what you could put on there as a teaser. You know, civil litigation has become big business with a legal system that encourages plaintiffs who risk nothing to sue anyone who may appear to have the ability to pay. This 15-part video series is direct and to the point and designed to help you understand what asset protection tools are available to you and what you need to consider when making a choice. You can design any language you want. That's just a sample. You can make it big, you can make it bold. You just want to invite them into this series. You want to get their name, their email at the minimum, phone number if you want to get it, and that's it. If you don't intend to call them, by the way, then don't ask for their phone number. You really don't need it unless you intend to call them. So unless you have a system set up where you're actually going to make a call to somebody, then don't bother with the phone number. I think that you want to invite them to call you. You want to invite them to email you at the end of the series. Remember, you get to design the page that these videos are hosted on. So it can look like anything you want it to look like. You can have your call to action. You can have more information on there. So it's really important. So now that you have the key concepts, you've got it on your website, you've got your call to action, you've got your required information for them to access it. Now you got to start getting people to watch it. So the very best way to begin, we believe, is to start with your current clients. Start with your current leads, people that are already in your database, people who are already listening to you. And so email and even regular mail announcement. If you do regular emails to your clients, if you do newsletters, you would want to make a big deal about key concepts of asset protection. I've just launched the key concepts of asset protection on my website. You know, click here to access it now. And if you have some type of email marketing system like Infusionsoft or Salesforce, anything that will track who clicks and when they click and starts an email sequence to you, you can design a sequence around this. I know it all sounds like a lot of work, and it is a lot of work, but it does pay off. It is important. You can call people that are very close to you and say, hey, I really want you to watch this. You can send a letter out with the information and a code to get into or just the web address. Remember, if the web address is not really navigatable from your home site, it doesn't have to be barred off with an access code. It just could be something that they can't get to without knowing where it is. That's kind of the easy way to hide something, is you just make it not you can't navigate to it. And if you give somebody the code, so if it was something like your website /key concepts, you could just tell people, just go to my website and then do /key concepts, and it'll drop them on the screening page for the key concepts. And again, promote asset protection on your website. You want to talk about asset protection. If you can be writing regular articles about asset protection, that's even better. I mean, you really do want to be in communication and telling people, I do asset protection. I am here to help you with your asset protection. It's a long game approach that I take. I don't try to swing for the fences every time, and everybody who hears me all the time, I don't expect them to call. But what I do want is I want them thinking about me when they finally have the need. People are ready to buy when they're ready to buy, not when you're ready to sell. What that means is that you have to be ready to sell all the time. So your approach needs to be consistent. It's like running a marathon. It's not like a sprint. You can use a sprint methodology to get something done. Like you could sprint to get your key concepts up and running on your website. You could tell your web developer, hey, this is the task. Here's the instructions. We're going to get this done by 5 o'clock today. We're going to sprint to get it done. But once it's there, it's the long game. You want to be consistently talking about it. I think the failure of a lot of marketing out there is that people expect it to work immediately, and if it doesn't work immediately or it doesn't work the way they expected it to, they kind of drop it. And they want to move on to the next hot thing. Even more crazy, I've seen people who have done marketing, different approaches, that has worked fantastic. It's worked. And they still want to move on to the next thing. They're like, oh, that was great. Okay, and what are we going to do next? I said, well, how about the same thing? How about you do the thing that already worked for you again? Oh, well, we did it already. Yeah, it'll work again. It'll work for about 2 years if you just keep doing it. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. So really good marketers understand this. They just keep doing the things that work. They're constantly iterating. They're constantly improving incrementally what they do and how they do it. And over time, your entire system, your communication, your style, your website, it all just gets better. And I believe that's the way to go. I really do. I think that's the approach that works the best. It's the least stressful on you. It's consistent. Consistency is the key. There's a reason I do First Thursday every first Thursday of every month, 12 months out of the year. It's just to keep the consistency. If 100 people show up or 2 people show up, I'm still going to do it. And that, it helps me. It helps you because you know I'm going to be here. And it all of a sudden, that's what creates tipping points and allows you to move to the next level. So let me move on here. Key concepts, instructions request. If you would like the instructions on exactly how to get these key concepts, you can email marketing@assetprotectioncouncil.com. Please include your name, your business name, and your domain name. So if it's John Smith, attorney at law, and you have John Smith at lawyers.com, make sure you put the .com in there too, because we'll need that to create your specific code and to authorize your website to play these. If you are not a member, you need to be a member. So to be a member, there's no fee, but there is an agreement. There's also a intellectual property use agreement. So this intellectual property is available to our members to use. It is not available to non-members to use. So you need to be a member. And if you're not a member and you're listening, or if you're kind of a member but you've never signed up officially, well, just sign up officially and get yourself to be a member. Also, it's a huge benefit because you also get a page on assetprotectioncouncil.com where we'll put your name and your bio and a link to your website. So membership is really a very good thing, and there's really no reason not to do it. So I encourage you to. So like I said, if you're not already a member, go to assetprotectioncouncil.com. So that's the main point of today's conversation. I just have about 5 minutes left, and I did want to kind of end with reminding you how the tools work. So I keep doing these same 2 slides over and over again because I'm a huge believer in just continuing to keep your message consistent. There's 3 big tools that we use. Limited liability company, which I think we're all familiar with. Asset management limited partnership, which is a really valuable holding company entity I base it out of Arizona. It has great charging order protection, so it's a COP entity, as we talk about in the key concepts. And then, of course, the Asset Protection Trust, and our version of that is the Bridge Trust. And I really ask you guys to please watch the key concepts yourselves and give me feedback. Tell me what you like about them. Tell me if there's anything you don't like about them. We're always making everything better. We're refining ourselves all the time. So here's how it all works. The Asset Management Limited Partnership is in the middle. That's going to hold the LLCs, which hold things like your house, your rental houses, not your primary residence, but rental houses, your sailboats, your airplanes, anything that's risky. It could be a business asset, etc. Those all go into limited liability companies. The Bridge Trust is connected. And then you have your revocable living trust. We still use that. So everybody who's done one for clients, those are still valid, and we're going to keep recommending you do them. So how does this fit together? Well, the limited liability companies are held by and owned by the Asset Management Limited Partnership, either 100% or whatever percentage you happen to own in them. What else is going to go in there is cash, stocks, bonds, collections, coins, anything that is a financial asset, a liquid asset, anything like that. That's all going to go in your Asset Management Limited Partnership. You, meaning the client, is going to be the general partner of the limited partnership, and the Bridge Trust is going to be the majority limited partner. That's the owner. That's the entity that really owns all the assets in there. And we already know that's pretty much all the assets. So what happens is at death, all the assets pass down to the Revocable Living Trust. They distribute. It maximizes the exemptions. It avoids probate. It smoothly passes the assets. It's just very clean, just like they would if you didn't have this structure. The Revocable Living Trust just puts it all. But let's reset it. If we have a duress event, something that's causing stress, then the Asset Management Limited Partnership is actually going to go to the Bridge Trust. We're going to distribute to the limited partner. And this is all pre-wired in the trust and in the partnership so that this happens upon the occurrence of an event of duress. And if necessary, a trust can take those assets offshore. That's how it works. And that's why we say the Bridge Trust is offshore protection with domestic simplicity. So that's it for today. I hope everybody has a fantastic summer. We will see you all again in the first Thursday of July. Oh my gosh, it is summer. And again, you can reach me directly, doug@lodmail.com. Shoot me an email anytime. Marketing@assetprotectioncouncil.com for the instructions to get the key concepts up on your website. Thank you all for your attention, and I look forward to speaking with you soon. Have a great beginning of your summer.